Hey everybody, this is Nate Tharian. Welcome to my pop-up podcast. Today I am joined by Lassiter Foregger. Am I pronouncing that right?
It's Foregger.
Foregger.
Yeah.
Okay, well there's the first flub of the day. Lassiter Foregger of Foregger Energy Solutions.
Yeah.
All right. So, see, I got that right. Got that going for me. So the first thing I'd like to do is make the intro, and rather than me tell everybody what it is that you and your company does, Lassiter, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
Let them know what you do.
Perfect. So we are a green energy product development company, and we're currently developing a product called True, or Transport Refrigeration Unit Electrified. So what that is it's a retrofit kit that hybridizes cold storage refrigeration units. So think those big trailers that you see going down the highway every single day. Our goal is to pretty much mitigate their diesel consumption, cut their emissions, provide a backup battery, and we do that by using regenerative braking and a retrofit to power it.
So, for all intents and purposes, it's a cross section of transportation and deep tech. Would that be about the size of it?
I mean, yeah, you could. Yeah, we fall into so many different sectors and kind of one all in. I don't know. We fall into 7 different sectors and we kind of make our own. So we're we're in our own world out here. Kind of retrofit, deep tech, clean tech, whatever you want to say. Like honestly, like it's just everything.
So, what got you to jump into this particular sector? What got you to this place where you saw this particular problem? How did you see this particular problem? How did you get to the point that you saw this particular thing that you were going to build a business out of?
I mean, do I not look like I'm in the trucking industry? Like I feel like I fit the
Hey, I didn't say
the make and model.
You
No,
know, I didn't say it. Don't look at me. I don't want any ugly comments. No.
No. I was actually on a dune surfing trip. Yeah, so you take the fins off a surfboard, throw them in the back of the truck. We drove 5 hours out into the middle of the desert. And when we were out there, we stop at a gas station. I look up and what I see is $7.15 per gallon for diesel. And I'm thinking, holy cow, who is spending this much on diesel? All around us are these trucking systems. So, in the spirit of entrepreneurship, I got curious and I went a deep dive into kind of what the operational costs look like on these trucking systems. If they're transporting an $80,000 load and then they're paying for driver salary and then they're paying for these insanely high diesel rates, how are they making money? And then on top of that, I started thinking, I've always been interested in the automotive industry and kind of merging tech with that. And I just started thinking about why the trucking industry was progressing at a different rate than the automotive industry and what those pushbacks may be. And I found I found quite a few. So I tried to address them all in one product as best as I could.
And that's what you're developing right now?
Yes.
So with respect to what's a little bit of the science, some of the deep tech, some of the, dare I say, some of the nerdy stuff that's going into the development of your tech, of your product? Yeah,
so our product is highly variable. So kind of what I mean by that is we are trying to find the best configuration for a standardized e-axle right now, or which is actually what's going to power our compressor, our generator that powers our compressor. But it's going to be highly variable across several different battery configurations for different haul routes. That's going to be best fit to our customer. For example, if you have a regional unit, maybe they only need a 20 kilowatt battery system because that's just what their unit needs. That's what's going to support. They don't need this kind of extra storage and that extra weight. Versus you have a long haul route, they might need anywhere from 50 to 100 kilowatt hours. Disclaimer, I do not expect them to need a 100 kilowatt hour battery system. That is generally on par with full hybridized trucking units and electric trucking units, but alas. So that's kind of another facet of it. Then there's different thermal management systems that we're kind of trying to play around with across different geographic areas. If we want to be up in Canada versus, down in Texas, are going to be completely different thermal management systems for the batteries. And then on top of that, there is the whole idea of hybridizing this refrigeration unit across. We're generally modeling it off of 2 different refrigerator models. So Carrier and Thermo King, and their S series and their X4 series. So we we're just pretty much trying to find a way to also standardize that, I guess, what's the word? Compressor hybridization. So, yeah. Anyways, but there's also a generator in there, and then that's a whole placement issue.
There's a generator in there. I don't know. There's a battery. It runs on electricity. You know what I mean? Oh, that's great. Let me ask you, as far as like, so the company is very young.
Yes.
I think is it less than a year?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so when I first saw you pitch, I saw you pitch at SVB. I saw you at Silicon Valley Bank, the Maitland shout out. I saw you pitch there. It must have been about 6 months ago.
Yep.
And we were just talking before we hit the start button that at that point in time, the company was a month old?
It was a month old.
Okay, so starting 1 month in, so we're like starting from scratch. What was the first step that got you from I got this idea to 30 days later pitching at Silicon Valley Bank?
Oh man, so again, I went into this huge deep dive kind of like just research wormhole of sitting in my room being completely obsessed with figuring out how these things worked. I was printing out PDFs of maintenance manuals for refrigeration units and reading through them and trying to understand and also teach myself mechanical engineering because I'm a business major.
Wait. Whoa. Okay, time out. Okay. So we'll get back to Silicon Valley Bank in a minute. So you are, I know you're a student at Babson, right?
Yes.
Student at Babson. And you are a business major.
I'm a business major, yeah.
So 30 days before you started, wait for it, a transportation deep tech startup, you were studying business and then you found this problem and you deep dove this problem. Am I
dead on? Yeah.
Damn.
That's what
Okay.
I did.
So you start deep diving this problem to the point that you find this issue, just rolling through manuals, and then 30 days later, well, not 30 days later, you at some point, you're taking this to Silicon Valley Bank for Babson's. It was a Babson pitch event. Babson's pitch event where you're pitching Foregger Energy Solutions.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is what happened.
Now, okay. So let's pick it up from there. Sorry to interrupt, but man, that was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's I mean, in entrepreneurship, you need to be scrappy. It's the only way you're going to get things done, and especially in those kind of starting. In those first few starting months, you kind of need to do everything yourself, and really as a founder, like make an effort to understand your product and your industry and do the research and kind of do the stuff that nobody wants to do, and so.
We've all been there.
Yeah, no.
Anyone who started the business. So you had your idea, you
Yep.
had your thesis, for lack of a better term, and you took it to Silicon Valley Bank and you pitched.
Yep.
And it was quite good, by the way. That was about 6 months ago. What has happened in terms of the business growing and taking shape between 6 months ago, which is basically the start, and today?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can kind of, if you want, I can give you a little bit of context on the whole Silicon Valley Bank
By all
story
means,
and
yeah,
how that progressed into this.
By all means, the whole give me the whole 9 yards.
So when I first started, it was pretty much, okay, so I've done database research. I hadn't really been completely in the field yet. I had marketing data. I had talked to a few operators. I had talked to a few logistics people in the space, but not nearly enough to, claim any sort of real customer validation beyond that databases. So what I did from there is I was just like, okay, I need pitching experience. I need to make connections. I need to meet people. I need to get other people involved in this so that I can actually start to move this forward beyond just pretty much my research, my thesis. So I had a baseline systems diagram and schematic that I had sketched up. And I pitched at a Babson-based event, and it went well. And I just started throwing in applications everywhere, which is just, you see an application, you click the link, you're like, okay, let's go. And they're like, yeah, you need a website. So I threw together a website, and I had no idea what this was. Like, I did not know what, I'm sorry, Ben. I did not know what Silicon Valley Bank was. I was nowhere near this space. I like obviously heard about, but like I was nowhere near this space. I was nowhere in I was nowhere near where I am now, and I was not in this ecosystem that I've been so grateful to get to know now and learn from. But yeah, so I show up there, and all of a sudden, you know, you're 20 stories up on a high rise, and you're there with people you're talking to that are like, oh, like, what school do you go to? And they're like, you know, what are you talking about? I've been graduated for however many years. And it's just, it was insane. But I got thrown in the deep end, and it was a total wake up call where it was kind of like, all right, this person has been working on this for 3 years and they're doing XYZ, and you think you're doing well, right? Within your little Babson bubble, but girl, you have your work cut out for you. And so I was like, it was a wake up call, and from there I grew, and I kind of made more of an effort to get outside of that bubble and really immerse myself within within the Boston ecosystem and startup world, and yeah, just kind of like start to pursue things outside of my college and what was comfortable for me. So I just kept putting myself in honestly uncomfortable situations, and it led to a lot of growth. So from there, we've been able to have somewhat of a first mock-up of our design. Like I'm reluctant to say finalized, you know, because you just keep designing and building and things change. But from there, we were kind of able to do a lot of customer research, customer validation, kind of do a lot of that back-end business work, refine our business model, talk to a lot of logistics companies, and yeah, and grow out a team. And now we're building out our beta model this summer. So we're just working on finalizing some of our pieces. So yeah.
Nice. So it has come together from an idea to pitch to meeting Ben Maitland, I guess, because she didn't know who he was. Who knows Ben?
I reached out to him on LinkedIn afterwards because, okay, mind you, camera doesn't know this, but so not only was I there a little bit preemptively, but my slide deck was completely messed up. So none of my slides were working, except for the schematic, which was great, which was awesome, which is all you really need. And yeah, and so I emailed Ben afterwards, and I'm like, I am so, like, I know I came into this preemptively, and I kind of, insert bad word, the bed, but I learned so much from this experience, and it's motivated me, and like now I have a fire under me, and like I'm ready to go, I'm ready to rock and roll. And he was just so nice, and he you know, put me on his email list for other events, and so I've been able to go to a lot of other events at Silicon Valley Bank, which is awesome.
Ben is the king. He really is.
He's awesome.
He will give you the shirt off of his back. He's great.
Yeah.
Shout out again. We love Ben. So now that you are 6 months in, you're going into a beta phase, if you will, developing the product. What does the next 6 months look like for the company?
I mean, you ask any entrepreneur that. You want plan A, B, or C. So
put it in pencil, get an eraser.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone has a plan.
So right now, my grand vision, is we're able to get this really bootleg model together, proof of concept type of, I mean, we're going to junkyards, we're getting old car batteries, old Tesla batteries, you know, we're gonna stick it on a unit, we're gonna purchase a used refrigeration unit off Facebook Marketplace. Like we're doing this, you know,
super scrappy.
We're doing this super scrappy. We're doing this shout out Babson for all the funding. But you know, you take what you can get, especially in deep tech where it's, I mean, you need some sort of beta model going really before you can get any real funding. So ideally what we would want from there is, you know, we're going to go fundraise after that. We have our proof of concept, we're ready to rock and roll. We're like, okay, let's start a pilot program. And so I think it's a little bit aggressive to be shooting for a pilot program in the next 6 months because there's a lot of safety measures that we need to kind of go through before we can do that, and a lot of compliance that we need to meet, and a lot of whatnot. But what I really want is this finalized beta model, and kind of pilot program on the horizon.
Okay. And that's something that you'd see coming up over the next, oh yeah, we'll give you a little more time, 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year, yeah.
And that would lead into potentially doing some fundraising for the company.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I wanted to ask you this, and I know this is something you wanted to get into yourself. There's always something that I ask all of my guests, and that's pretty much the community give and ask. And what we'll do here is I'll ask you what you can offer the community, whatever that may be in terms of maybe you can provide mentorship, maybe you can give advice on something, maybe you have connections at this, maybe you can help other students at Babson, maybe you can make a connection to Ben Maitland, the world's greatest guy, or whatever the case may be. And then in turn, you can give the community and make the community ask, where you will basically see where the community can help you out. So with the give in mind, what can you offer the community if they're watching this right now?
Yeah. If there's any women in trucking, no, I'm just kidding. Honestly, if you haven't been able to tell, I apply to everything. I go out searching for opportunities, acceleration programs, pitch competitions, networking events, anything like that. So if there's anybody looking to kind of do an accelerator, we're doing Clean Tech Open right now, which has been amazing so far. If you're looking to do any sort of pitch competition, I probably know of one that you can apply to. So anyone interested in any of that, which I'm sure there are.
So before we get into the ask, just with the stuff that you're going through right now, you said you're going through the Clean Tech Open. What tell us a little bit about that, how that's going for you, how you got in there, and how that's coming about, and how that's pushing the whole deal forward for you.
Yeah. So we did UMass Lowell's Clean Green Pitch Competition. Yeah. And then from there, a few of the people there liked the product, and they're like, you got to apply to Clean Tech. And I was like, sorry, Clean Tech, what is Clean Tech, And so I look into it, and it just looks incredible. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's apply. Let's throw our name out there. And they let us in. I don't know.
They opened the door. They said, come on in.
They said, sounds pretty cool, And it has been, so we just finished up our 2-day National Academy East Summit. And today, that's where I came from. And it has honestly been so incredible. There are so many smart people there, and it's really expanding the network. I mean, we're even able to talk to some startups that are like, hey, we're working on, I don't know if I can disclose their technology, but XYZ that has to do with refrigeration units and fuel efficiency there. And it would be really interesting to do a collaboration. So now that's something to look into, and we're meeting mentors, and we're meeting people that really know the space. And honestly, our goal from there, because the people there are very intelligent. I will say, I don't know what they were thinking, but it is a smart bunch of people. And to really honestly be able to listen and learn from them, for people that have been in the space for, however many years, it's incredible. And so it's a lot of technical people there, and it's been an amazing experience so far. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited.
So now that we've you gave the ask,
yes.
What can this community, if they're watching right now, what I should say, the give was given.
Yeah.
I get easy for me to say. What is the ask? What could this community who's watching this on whatever social media channel they're watching it on be able to do to help out you and your company moving forward?
Yeah. Right now we're in a real period of growth, and as we're building out this product, we're always looking for more people who are technical to come and help out. Just if they're interested in the product, if they want to build something, that's what we do. And so we have a few people now working on it, and we're just looking to kind of grow that community, especially when I come back up to Boston for school, because down in Texas. So
okay. So let's get into specifics. So it sounds like you're looking for people, you're looking for talent, you're looking for people to come in to work on this project. What kind of skill set? What specifically are you looking for? If you had your way, if you had a magic button and boop, you were able to bring somebody in and they were just exactly what you were looking for, what would that person look like?
Well, ideally, if you're a mechanical engineer who has a knack for refrigeration systems, typically trucking refrigeration systems. No, I'm just kidding.
More specific than me. If you check off the boxes,
yeah, right?
You know?
We honestly, the systems are complex, but they're not impossible to learn. If a business major can learn enough about it to design a product, you would be surprised what you can do. But honestly, mechanical engineers, people with passion for the transportation industry, people who have, we're also working with high voltage systems, propulsion systems, battery systems. Like, there's so many different facets and aspects to this product. It's really cross-functional across a ton of different specialties. So, and we're looking for more people who have that passion.
So if someone's out there watching this, where can they find you? Where can they apply? Where can they get a hold of you? How would they get in touch with you to scoop up this opportunity that you put in front of them?
Yeah, so we have a website, foreggerenergy.com.
Go ahead and spell it.
FOREGGERENERGY.com.
There we go. We'll spell it out in the subtitles.
Yeah. It's
we'll take care of that.
I was a little bit afraid I was You put me on the spot. Go
ahead and spell it. Yeah, so your last name. Yo, I'm blanking. Oh, no.
It's been a long day. Or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Lassiter Foregger. There's numerous ways to get a hold of me. I have a pretty unique name, so you look me up online, like I'm there.
Well, hey, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, you can drop it in the comments. If you go to the website, and we won't make you spell it again. All right, we can get through that way.
Can you go back to the regenerative braking battery systems?
Oh, we can circle back to that.
Scrap the spelling.
Scrap the spelling. Yeah, give me the science. Keep the spelling. If there's as we're coming up on about 25 minutes here. The last thing I wanted to do is see if there was anything, the final pitch, the final thing you'd like to say, the final, your last hurrah.
Yeah.
For this podcast. Anything else that you would want to make known to the community at large? Empty the tank. Go for broke.
Get excited. Get excited, Boston. Honestly, it's an uncertain time, kind of with the political landscape and clean tech and transportation, all of the above. But I'm optimistic. What is a founder if not optimistic? You have to be. Leave the pessimist to the... Nope, not going to say that one. I'm not trying to make enemies. But you really just have to keep pushing through. And I'm so excited to see what happens with this startup going forward. And I have a lot of conviction. I honestly don't know if I'd be putting myself out there if I didn't have the level of conviction that I have in the success of this idea and this startup. And I'm really excited and keep working hard and see what happens,
Awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to bring this edition to a close. Lassiter, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
And to all of you watching, we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.